So comparing your life to others will never result in happiness. Instead, what you want to do is compare yourself today to yourself in the past. So how are you now compared to where you were like a year ago or 5 years ago? How have you grown? How have you got better? How have you moved towards your goals? How are your relationships better? Welcome to the Middle-Aged and Miserable podcast.
Please like and subscribe so you never miss another episode. And also, if you love this content, please leave us a 5-star review so that we can reach more people with this content.
Lovely. All right. Today, 9 things that'll make you happier. Let's go.
All right. Well, number 1, focus. If you want to be happy, you must focus on what you can control and not on what you can't control.
Right.
Give us an example, Pat, of something you cannot control.
Well, the first thing that comes straight to mind is the news. You can't control what happens in the news. They want to scare you because they want you to watch. Mm-hmm. And they want to, this is a good one, they want to pre-worry you. They want to, because they tell you concerns are rising about that thing that might happen.
Fears are rising.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. They do that. Social media. If the algorithm catches onto a negative subject, then it'll keep feeding it to you. So, so if you, I don't know, show interest in plane crashes that make you feel bad, then your feed will be an endless info on how flying is unsafe, making you essentially unhappy. Yeah, afraid of flying.
What's another example?
Worrying about things that haven't happened yet. That's a good one.
You can't control that, can you?
No, you can't control that at all.
We're good at that. We're good at worrying about things. And it's never as bad as we worried about.
No, that's true.
Your past. We constantly focus on our past, but we can't change any of it.
That's true.
It's completely out of our control. What's done is done.
Yeah.
So focusing on any of these things would just lower your morale and make you unhappy.
Yeah. There's a double whammy there as well, because if you feel unhappy and you can't change it, that's with the news, for example, and the behaviors on social media. You know, you can't change it, and it makes you unhappy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Double whammy. Yeah. So instead, focus on what you can control. So, for example, focus on making your relationships better. Focus on your relationships and get, just make them move along. Focus on moving towards your goals. Yeah.
Focus on what you've got in your life rather than what you haven't got, because we all do that to a certain extent. Like, focus on the people in your life as well. As a good one. Focus on improving your life.
There you go. So if you focus on improving these areas, then it just ultimately makes you happy, because what you focus on becomes your reality, good or bad, positive or negative, happy or unhappy. It's your choice.
Yeah, that's true.
What's next, Pat? Number 2.
All right. Number 2, comparing. So if you want to be happy, like we all do, like what this podcast is about, you have to stop comparing yourself to others. This is a huge one. So like we talked about social media just now. Social media is a place where you get completely sucked into that, comparing yourselves to somebody else who looks like they've got a better life than you, because that's what social media is all about. Everybody looks amazing on social media. They live these amazing lives on social media. But they tell you what you never see on social media. They're never going to say, I had a really crap day yesterday. I'm really miserable and down. Nobody complains.
That's right. They don't mention their struggles in life. That's right.
So comparing your life to others will never result in happiness. Instead, what you want to do is compare yourself today to yourself in the past. So how are you now compared to where you were like a year ago or 5 years ago? How have you grown? How have you got better? How have you moved towards your goals? How are your relationships better?
Yeah, I mean, we've fallen into this trap with our business. Yeah. Businesses, we've compared ourselves to other people that are just utterly crushing it. And it makes you feel bad. But then, we might not be at that level, but we're above the level of a lot of people.
Above the level where we were.
Exactly, yeah. And then some people haven't even started. So, there's this comparison thing it's not going to make you happy. If you want to be happy, you've got to stop comparing yourself to others.
That's right, yeah. All right, what's next?
Celebrate wins. So
there you go.
This is all about pausing and just celebrating the wins when you achieve something or in life.
You're really good at this.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. But you just have to just celebrate it and notice it when it happens. And this is important because we can often focus on what is going wrong, what we don't have, and what we have not achieved. But celebrating wins is about giving yourself credit, even if you do something small.
Yeah, like when you've achieved something in your life, is a good one. When you've stepped out of your comfort zone, right? You should take a pause and celebrate that as well. When you when you didn't do something that is bad for you, for example, I didn't eat half a bag of cheesy Wotsits yesterday.
No one knows what cheesy Wotsits are.
No, Cheetos. There you go. Cheetos. Yeah. There you go. Give yourself a pat on the back for things like that. Give yourself a break from constantly beating yourself up like we all do, and instead pause and say, I did a good job there.
Yeah, and then, people might think, well, I don't really do anything, but there are wins every day. You just might be skipping over them.
They are all over the place.
It could just be a small step that you took towards your goals, or getting a task done at work on time or something. Yeah. So you just got to celebrate them.
Mm-hmm. Like reading self-help books, listening to awesome podcasts like this one.
Yeah, like this one. Yeah.
That's a win.
You should celebrate that win.
Everybody that's listening to this right now needs to celebrate this win. They
need to pat themselves on the back.
That's absolutely right. Because you're focusing on what you're doing well rather than what you're not doing well, and that's ultimately that'll make you happier.
Exactly
in life.
All right, what's next, Pat? Number 4.
It's one close to my heart, which I love doing every day. Gratitude. Express gratitude. So, we've talked about in previous podcasts what the life-changing benefits are of practicing gratitude on a daily basis. It's also free to do as well. We can all do it. It improves your happiness, obviously, because that's what we're talking about, but it also makes you more enthusiastic, gives you a little boost of energy. If you're feeling down when you first wake up in the morning, like a lot of us do, it does give you a little boost. I've found that as well for doing it first thing in the morning. It also it gives you a little boost in your career and your business, because everybody likes to do business with people who are typically more happy and more humble and more self-deprecating as well in life. It improves your relationships, which also plays into the business side of things as well. Because if you're a grateful, happy person, you're there for your family as well. You're like the rock for your family that people kind of gravitate to.
Well, and what gratitude really does is it makes you live in the moment, because we're often focused on what's happened in the past, or we're worrying about what's going to happen in the future. And we rarely stop, take a breath, and just appreciate that we're alive. Yeah, we're alive in the here and now. And that's a miracle in itself.
Yeah.
So you got some ways to practice gratitude, Pat?
Yeah. So, it could be as simple as just going out, taking a walk in nature and just like appreciating everything all around you. Being grateful to be alive, like you just said. Yeah. Being grateful to be fit and healthy. There's always something. I like to write 10 things down every single morning of the things I'm grateful for. And often it could be appreciating other people in my life as well, like my family. Remember, yesterday it happened, in fact. Remember we met a bunch of guys yesterday at the pub for lunch very quickly. And just as we were leaving, he said to us, I am a better person for having you two in my life. And I thought that was really touching.
Yeah, that was quite awesome.
That was really good, that.
Yeah. Yeah, so just enjoying the little things help you build the gratitude muscle. It's like a muscle, isn't it? And then it activates your reticular activating system, your filter. Yeah. And so you find more things you're grateful of. Yeah. And that just, I don't know, it just makes you happier, doesn't it?
It does. But I think you've got to kind of make a habit of it. You've got to do it regularly, and it will become a habit. After do it for a month or 2 months, it will become a habit. And ultimately, you will become happier.
Yeah. All right, next up, we got number 5, personal growth. So growing yourself makes you happy. It's just human nature. We want to grow, to improve, to get better. And, it gives you motivation, purpose, and meaning in your life. And, because if you're stagnant, you're doing the same thing day in, day out, never doing anything new, never challenging yourself, you just become unmotivated and unhappy. When you do the opposite, then you feel energized.
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're not growing, you're declining. I like to say that life's you're walking up a downward traveling escalator, because if you're not growing, you're just going back down. And because there is no top, is there? There's no middle ground where you're nice and stable. Always
no comfy plateau.
You've always got to keep growing. Yeah.
What's some examples then of personal growth, Pat?
Examples of personal growth could be learning something. We all should be continually learning, lifelong learners. But learn something about something that gets you all fired up. books. You're probably learning a lot from this podcast as well. Go to classes and things like that.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah.
Something that gets you fired up, because I'm a lifelong learner now. I love learning, but I hated school. I hated college. If you told me to sit in a math class, I would hate it.
Right.
But when it's something that gets you fired up, like you say, then it's energizing, isn't it?
There's a deeper thing here as well with learning, because it elevates your mindset to get you to believe something that you didn't previously think you were even capable of. And we're kind of getting into some of the NLP things that we do and the change patterns that we do.
Yeah, so we should explain that. So we do a lot of NLP work. That's neuro-linguistic programming. And it's a way to rewire your wiring.
Yeah, you're upgrading your wiring.
Yeah, we've all got a programmed brain about what we believe that we're capable of.
Yeah.
And you can rewire it. You can do these NLP change patterns and inner work, and you can rewire yourself.
Yeah, we've literally rewired ourselves. We're not the same people we were 5-10 years ago.
That's right.
Completely.
So that's an example of personal growth.
Yeah.
You've also got stepping out your comfort zone, doing something you were dreading. That's growing. Every time you step out your comfort zone, you're growing, because your comfort zone is getting bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, so let's wrap it up. So when we're growing, it just gives us energy, confidence and fulfillment, right?
Because when you're growing, you become purposeful and therefore more happy.
More happy, yeah. All right, go on then, Pat. What's number 6?
Self-talk. Number 6. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself literally every day. Like, for example, don't get up and start the day saying, oh, it's going to be a really crappy day today. You're going to say to yourself something which is hard to do, admittedly, as you're lying in bed, as you wake up and you're all groggy. How is today going to be awesome for me? Things more empowering like that. I know it's kind of hard, but you've got to kind of make an active, conscious decision to do that, Yeah, because it's going to make you happier.
Yeah, because what you've done there is you've asked a question. I wonder what great things.
Right.
So essentially, we talked about this before. This is replacing disempowering statements with empowering questions.
Right.
So a disempowering statement is something like, I could never achieve that. But an empowering question is, how can I achieve that? Or why not me? This affects your happiness, because if you're constantly telling yourself you can't achieve something or do something, then your morale goes down, and you're really saying there's nothing I can do about it. So instead of saying I can't afford it, there's nothing I can do about it, ask yourself, how can I afford it? And then this empowering question activates the creative centers in your brain, making it look for solutions, causing you to be more optimistic and happier.
There you go. Lovely.
All right, number 7, Pat. What is it?
Number 7, exercise, something that we do a lot of these days. So, and again, it's going to make you happier. That's kind of a no-brainer, really. And exercise is a huge one. So, to do it, you kind of want to do what you're good at, really, because it's hard not to. So yoga people are going to do yoga. Strong people are going to lift weights. Runners are going to run, etc., etc.
Well, some people don't like working out, but at least at that point, you're going to find a form of exercise you can tolerate. Get out and walk, or if you used to play basketball, try doing that a little bit. Or something.
You said this in the previous podcast. You're not going to get away with doing nothing in life generally, and there's a ton of benefits from it. Obviously, there's health benefits because you'll be getting fit and healthy also, but there's a mindset benefit here as well, because because every time you do exercise, you're taking action. And your mind's talking yourself out, or trying to talk you out of it, at least anyway, especially first thing in the morning when you wake up. You're saying, oh, I'm too tired. But you're defying your mind every time you do it. It's uplifting, and it's a real elevation of the mindset as well. And it makes you feel better. It lifts your mood. You have this sense of achievement whenever you've worked out as well. It makes you feel great. And those things, like we talked about earlier, those are the little small wins that you should celebrate. You should be proud of yourself every time you exercise. You're doing yourself a great deal of good with health-wise, but also your mind as well. And therefore, you're going to become happier.
Yeah. All right, next up, number 8, do something for others. So in your relationships, this is a simple thing to do. You can just have a conversation where you just ask a loved one, ask them how they are, and they'll probably say they're fine. And then you ask them how they really are, and you just sit and listen, and you look them in the eye, and you don't speak. You just listen to them. You don't try and fix an issue they might have. You just listen. You give them your time and come at it from an angle of you're serving them. It's not about you. It's about them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm helping other people out. There's another.
Well, you're good at
one.
this.
Yeah, it reminds me of a time a few months ago, actually, where I bought the groceries. There's an old lady in front of me, and I just completely spontaneously decided I'm going to buy the groceries for her. I was with my daughter, and I don't know why I decided to do it, but so I said, can I let me buy you groceries? And I had to insist a bit because she kept like, oh no, don't, it's okay, it's fine. Are you sure? Yeah, and I still remember that feeling today. It really touched her, it moved. I mean, she started crying. It was so moving, and I'm so proud of myself for having done that, and it fueled my inner happiness. It really did.
Yeah, I think it's a good example for your kids to see as well. The
Absolutely,
fact that your daughter was there to see
definitely.
that.
Yeah, helping others makes you happy.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
All right, last one. Number 9, your peer group. So you want to assess who you're hanging around with and how they're influencing your emotional well-being, because it could potentially make you unhappy.
Right.
For example, if you're hanging around with complainers, if they're people that are complaining all the time, the chances are you're going to be a complainer. Because guess what complainers do when they're listening to complainers? They're waiting for the other person to stop so they can start complaining.
Yeah, that's it.
They counter complain. It's like a complain off.
There's a ton of negativity around that as well. Actually, people around that you're hanging around with that are complaining. They're not lifting you up at all. Really, they're not encouraging you. They're all negative. The complaining it's by definition it's negative, and they're not being. They won't be supportive of you. Want to grow and do something good. That I've found, obviously, hanging around complainers, they're not exactly going to be supportive of you doing that and growing.
I don't want you to leave the complaining ecosystem.
That's right.
So instead, you want to hang around positive people, happy people.
Yeah,
that are energetic and lift you up. And when you do this, you'll become like them.
Right, definitely. Because we say this a lot. Your life is a direct reflection of who you hang around with the most. And if you hang around with happy people, you're going to become more happy, without a doubt.
All right, Pat, let's summarize that.
Okay. All right. So number 1, we talked about focus. Focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot control. Number 2, we are always comparing ourselves to others. So rather than do that, compare your today self to your past self and see how you've grown as well.
Celebrate wins. Take the time to notice and celebrate the wins in your life.
Yep.
Practice gratitude. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past or in the future.
Right.
Live for the now.
Personal growth was another one. If you're not growing, you're declining. So by anybody that's growing in life is always going to be happier as well. And self-talk, reframe that self-talk from negative statements to empowering questions. How can I do this?
Yeah. Get some exercise, because doing nothing will ultimately end up with an unhappiness.
Yeah.
Do something for others, and this is a win-win, because they'll feel good and you'll feel great.
Yeah. And the last one, your peer group, hang around with great guys like you and me.
Yeah. Not negative people and complainers.
That's right, yeah.
All right then, Pat, you ready for the after show?
I am indeed, Chris.
Okay. Strange American words?
We've got plenty of them.
You ready for one?
Go on then.
Kitty corner?
Yeah. I didn't have a new. Did you understand what that meant? Kitty corner.
Kitty corner. Kitty corner.
Kitty corner, they call it.
We just say diagonally, don't we?
Well, I think ours is a bit of a mouthful. We say diagonally opposite, because that's what it means. If you're on a crossroads, it's literally diagonally opposite. But I don't even know where it comes from. Kitty corner.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Charlie horse. Do you know what that is?
That's a cramp, isn't it?
Yeah, Charlie horse. I've heard people say that. I'm like, what? What does
Charlie
that mean?
horse. Is it a type of cramp?
I think it's just a cramp, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Cramp.
It's just people start screaming, Charlie horse.
Where on earth would that have come from?
Rutabaga.
Rutabaga? Is it rutabaga or rutabaga?
I don't know.
Rutabaga.
Oh.
What do we call? What are
Swede?
they?
We call it a Swede.
Okay.
So a root vegetable, we call it a Swede.
Rutabaga, yeah.
I like this one. Rookie mistake. I think that's cool. I like saying that. But we say schoolboy error, don't we?
Schoolboy error. That was I made a
Oh,
schoolboy error.
you made a schoolboy error there, Pat.
And that's the same as rookie
It's
mistake.
the same thing.
It
But
is,
I don't know,
That's
schoolboy
true.
error. I like both. But
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
I had someone say this at work the other day. Tattletale.
My kids say that.
Yeah,
Tattletale.
to tell on someone.
Yeah, because they've lived here most of their lives and they don't know what to grass somebody.
I know,
up
we
is.
say grass.
Yeah,
and
grass
Americans
somebody
are
up.
often taken back by that. Like, what do you mean grass? Like, someone who tells on someone is called a grass.
It's grass.
And
Grass, yeah.
And the act of me telling on you is I'm grassing you
Yeah,
up.
you grass me up. I don't like you anymore. You grass me up.
And it's like an official word in Britain, because when they get like one of these huge crimes where someone's an informant, they call them a supergrass.
Supergrass, yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a band called Supergrass.
Yeah, there's a band called Supergrass. This one drives me nuts. People say, I don't know if this is a Washington State thing. People say acrossed.
I know, but
Like they don't say across the street. They say acrossed.
Have you ever called somebody out on that have said it? I've done this at work. I remember now. And I'll say, because it's fortunately I have a good relationship with this person, and I'll say, you said across then, and because I don't know, he lives across the street from me.
What, kitty corner?
Yeah. and I said, you said across, and he went, no, I didn't. But they keep saying, because they don't realize. I don't think they realize they're saying it across.
Yeah,
across.
It's an odd
street.
one. Yeah.
Put this across here.
And then in America they shorten everything. They shorten, like beetroot is beet, TV obviously shortened, ID. They say meds instead of medicine. They say grad all the time, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Gas. But then strangely they say refrigerator, which I always find that weird that we say fridge and they have to say the whole
Do
thing.
they not say fridge? It's in the
And we say lift and they say elevator. Like they just seem
elevator,
long,
that's another one.
complicated words, don't they?
Yeah.
And
Elevator.
then you're not into sports, but they say, this makes me laugh, on the straight of a racetrack. We just call it a straight. They call it a straightaway.
Yeah, they do. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know where the away comes from.
I don't know why. It's not necessary, is it?
No, it's
really?
an extra word.
It's straight. It's straight.
It's a straightaway.
It's a straight.
Yeah.
We got some good British words though.
Yeah, like what? Go on.
I got one. Pants. Pants is a very multi-use word. So pants, to Americans that means trousers, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they don't say trousers.
No, we say trousers.
Yeah, but they say,
But pants. But I particularly like the use of the word pants to describe something that's not very good. Because nobody knows what that means over here. So they're like, I watched that TV show. That was just a load of pants.
It's even funnier because it's a plural word. It just makes it sound like it's more
pant.
rubbish. It's more rubbish because it's plural rubbish.
Because it wasn't pant, it was pants.
Yeah. Yeah, people do say that. Pants.
You know, another thing you can get away with over here that you can't really get away with in England, bollocks. They don't get the sense of the meaning. We wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that to my parents. No.
No.
Well, I kind of would know maybe. But.
Yeah, you met a guy called Bob Bollicker once, didn't you?
Yeah, Bob Bollicker nearly fell off my chair when he picked up the phone. Hi, this is Bob Bollicker.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's enough. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe so you never miss another episode. Also, check out our social media content for more ways to avoid being middle-aged and miserable.